This week, November 21st to the 25th, is National Older Workers Week, highlighting the importance and benefits of age diversity in the workplace. Not only is it vital employers are age gap inclusive when it comes to recruitment, but it's just as important to support older workers already employed. Today, we're speaking with Nikki Reynolds from the National Careers Service to hear more about the wonderful workshops she runs for the over 50s. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nikki.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
That's all right. So firstly, could you just start off and tell us more about your role as a careers advisor for the National Careers Service?
Yes, of course. So the National Career Service provides free impartial careers advice for anyone over 18, but people who are over 50 and seeking work are a key priority for us. And we help people to find vacancies, to improve their CVs and applications. We also help people prepare for interviews and find training if they need to upskill or are looking at a career change. And we also do skills assessments to help kind of identify those skills. And we do that through one-to-one face-to-face appointments or appointments over the phone. We also run workshops. And we attend events like job fairs as well.
Wonderful. So today we're shining a light on National Older Workers Week, as you know. So what advice would you have for those over a certain age just that are looking for a career change or potentially to get back into work?
My piece of advice would just be to really stay positive and be proactive and recognize your value. It's also really important to keep up to date with your skill set and learn new skills. So that's something that we can help with. And find ways to really showcase all of that really valuable life experience that you have on your applications. You have a huge amount of life experience and work experience to draw from. And so we just want to make sure that you're shouting about that. And really think about what you're looking for from work now. Are you looking for part-time work? Maybe something more flexible, maybe something with less responsibility, or a role where you can coach and mentor others and kind of pass on your experience.
That sounds wonderful. So you were talking about kind of helping people finding their skills in the beginning there. Like, could you tell me a bit more, like, kind of what that entails? Like, what would you do?
Of course. So we have something called a skills health check on our National Career Service website, which is a really useful tool for kind of identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, sectors that you might be really suited to based on your experience, your motivations and your interests. So we would sit with somebody and talk through their previous life experiences, their work experiences, things that they enjoyed, things that they felt they were really strong at, and what kinds of things they're looking for now. And we'd kind of explore different types of job roles that might be interesting to them and use that skills assessment to explore job profiles on our website.
Wonderful. And talking about anyone that's looking for a career change, what are some of the resources that you'd recommend?
Of course. So, well, first of all, I'd recommend our National Career Service website. As I said, we've got all sorts of job profiles on there, the skills assessment, but there are also lots of guides to help you find work, guides on how to write a CV, a cover letter, how to prepare for interviews, how to do a job application, how to search for vacancies. So I would recommend using that. There is also a website called No Desire to Retire. And they have a huge amount of resources on there, lots of articles, blog posts, things to CV templates to help you. And there's also a function on there where you can upload your CV, and they work specifically with employers who are seeking people with more experience. They also have ways that you can improve your IT skills, which sometimes is a barrier or a perceived barrier for people who are older looking for work. Age UK is another really fantastic resource. They have, again, lots and lots of advice on seeking work when you are more experienced. And then I might recommend something like Allison or Vision to Learn. They're really, really good websites that offer all sorts of free training that you can use to upskill if you have gaps in your skill set.
That sounds wonderful. Sound like really, really useful resources and websites that people can go to, because a lot of things may have changed since someone was first stepping onto the job market, say 20, 25 years ago, to where they are now
Yes,
in terms of like CVs and all things like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
So I mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but I understand you run weekly workshops for people over 50. Could you just talk me through that, please?
Yeah, of course. So the workshops really are about building people's confidence and breaking down some of those perceived barriers. So we focus on things like employability skills, so how to write an up-to-date, really strong CV that you can tailor to a specific job. We talk about preparing for interviews, the kind of questions that employers are asking now at interview. We look at the labour market, the kind of transferable skills that employers are most often seeking, and how to identify those transferable skills in your previous employment and showcase them on your applications. And we also talk about widening your job search. So using things like social media, LinkedIn, those kinds of things to job search, because they are much more used these days by employers. And sometimes people find that they're not that comfortable with using social media these days. So we do a bit on that. And we identify any training needs that you might have and signpost to good providers that can help you kind of fill those gaps.
Wonderful. What would you say are the benefits to these workshops for the participants that come in?
The feedback that we've had is that people just feel much more confident and motivated to move forward, and they have a clearer idea of some really simple next steps that they can take, ways to break down what can sometimes feel quite overwhelming when you're re-entering the job market, particularly after a long break in your career, or if you're looking for a change. Sometimes confidence can be low, and that kind of huge amount of information is kind of difficult to digest. So I think people find it really helpful in breaking that down into manageable steps and having somebody on hand that can kind of hold their hand through the process a little bit.
Absolutely. Have you had quite a big uptake in this? How long has it been running for?
Yeah, we've been running the workshops weekly since around end of August, September, and we do have a really good level of attendance and really good engagement with all of our customers. So yeah, it seems to be really benefiting a lot of people.
Wonderful. That's really great to hear. So what would you say to employers when it comes to age diversity? Because I know a lot of employers may be a bit more hesitant to employ someone that's above the age of 50. Like, what would you say to them?
I guess I would say that you really can't emphasize enough how important diversity is in a workplace. The more diverse your workforce, the more life experiences and skill set that you have to draw from. And from my own experience, the colleagues that I've worked with who have more experience and are older have been the people that have really influenced me the most and been able to impart knowledge and improve my performance and mentor and coach me. So I think they have a huge amount of value to give. And it's really important that we recognise that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nikki, for taking the time to join us today. It's been absolutely great to hear about the support on offer at the National Careers Service and the wonderful work being done. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.